Hello and welcome to the news in English from Nine Radio and Television Station. Here are the main contents of today's news. The Ministry of Finance is drafting a decree detailing the law on export and import tax and guide the tax management procedures for cases of tax exemption and reduction, tax return, in order to complete the legal framework, efficient tax policy enforcement to the right objects. Accordingly, the new import-export policy will simplify administrative procedures, contribute to improving national competitiveness, investment environment. Currently, imported raw materials and materials for production of export goods have to be charged tax upon import, then having tax refund when export. Similarly, temporary imported goods for re-export, the importer must pay taxes when import and have tax refund upon export. Enterprises and custom authorities have to do all of the procedures of making out income tax return, taxes payment, and tax refund. It should take a lot of time and effort. But since September the 1st, they will not pay taxes and implement the VAT refund procedures. The Ministry of Finance also plans to exempt export tax to sample goods, which is not for commercial purposes, with a value below 1 million Vietnam dong to individuals, under 30 million Vietnam dong to organizations. In the last 5 years, Long Thanh District Armed Forces have been active in implementation of agitation associated with building new rural areas in various plentiful, diversified forms, with special emphasis on remodeling, upgrading rural roads, and building houses of gratitude for beneficiaries and poor households. The practical works have a significant contribution to the building of new rural areas. This route has a length of 260 meters, a width of 3.5 meters from the pathway to concrete roads, with total cost of nearly 150 million Vietnam dong, fixed and renovated by the District Military Steering Committee, coordinated with 4 police units, the army base in the area. The road has been completed and put into use, partially meet the travel needs and the fright of the people in the province. Trương Quang Bình, living in Hamlet 10, Bình Sơn Commune, Long Thanh District, said that previously this road was muddy, very difficult to travel. Thanks to the police and the soldiers' help, now we have a convenient road to travel. During going to school, no longer phones as before. It can be said that in the past 5 years, Long Thanh District Armed Forces were active in implementation of agitation associated with building a new rural area, effectively implement the contents and modes of motion. From the results of the movement, Army joining to build new rural area of Long Thanh District Armed Forces, it has contributed significantly to the overall result in the movement to build new rural areas of the district. That is also the result of the unity of perception in the direction and implementation of the Executive Committee. The unit commanders also a result of the bond solidarity to express the relationship of the people and the army of the armed forces in the district in general. Turning to the international news, tensions between the U.S. and Russia has been reheated after Washington formally activated missile shield located in an Air Force base in Dipsalu, southern Romania, an important part of the U.S. missile defense system in Europe. Russia has strongly opposed and said that the above action was the beginning of an arms race and threatened the security of this country. In a meeting with Russian senior defense and military officials on May the 13th, President Putin announced that Russia would take actions to neutralize the threat to the security of this country, including the U.S. missile defense system, which has been activated in Romania. In addition, Russia will also have to address spending to neutralize the threats posed to Russia. On the U.S. side, after the deployment of a missile defense system in Romania, the United States will begin to build a similar defense system in Poland, and the facility will be ready for operation in 2018, creating a 24/24 permanent defense system for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO, in addition to the radar system and ships operating in the Mediterranean. The unexpected development in the Brazilian political scene in the past few days made world public opinion concerned because it is likely to push this South American country into new unstable situation as well as affect the region. Shortly after the Brazilian Senate agreed to open impeaching dissertation on Ms. Dilma Rousseff with the alleged infringement of the national budget law, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has called upon Brazilian people for calm to have a dialogue and express his belief that the South American country's authorities respect democracy and constitutions. General Secretary of Union of South American Nations, Ernesto Samper, expressed concerns about unrest in Brazil, which can spread a danger to the region, affecting democratic institutions in Latin America. Meanwhile, South American leaders such as Venezuela, Nicaragua, Bolivia, and Colombia's president have expressed solidarity with Ms. Rousseff. The Cuban government also expressed solidarity with Ms. Rousseff and accused the legislature and the judiciary in Brazil of carrying out a coup to undermine the political project of the Labour Party. That's all for the news in English for today. Thanks for joining us and goodbye.